So if you're confused by shower power, you are not alone. As an RVer, newbie, 2.5 years ago, it confused the heck out of me. We've got 50 amp, we've got surge protectors, we've got big power cords. OMG, what does it all mean? Today, we demystify that for you, and bonus tip at the end, so stay all the way to the end. Let's roll. Thanks for tuning in today. Really appreciate that. My name is Scott. I'm your host. Welcome to Go Small, Live Large YouTube channel dedicated to the Class B RV lifestyle. That would be a van. Welcome to Shore Power 101. What we do here at Go Small, Live Large is we learn together, we share together, and then you decide what collectively is best for you and the way you want to RV. Whether you're still researching, you're sometime, part-time, or even full-time like me. There is no medals given for being full-timing. It's just the way I like to roll, staying in motion. Some of you know the story, some of you don't. So here it is, in a nutshell. 2017, pretty unhappy with my status quo corporate commute and never really traveling much except for the big vacations. 2018, completely reinvented that. And 2019, I went full-time February in this rig right here, a Winnebago Travato 59 GL 21-foot camper van based on a ProMaster Ram chassis, 6-cylinder gasoline front-wheel drive. Mine looks different because I've done some modifications to the exterior and only one to the interior. That would be changing out the shower. Yes. So I'm coming at you live from Endless Summer, Tampa Bay, in kind of Gulf Coast, middle of Florida. Yes, it's a very balmy 75 degrees today, being recorded in the first week in March 2021. A lot of folks are still thawing out from the big freeze in February. Endless Summer here in Tampa. It's pretty awesome, right? Flip-flops, not too bad. Hey, let me know where you're watching from. Sure would appreciate that. And tell me what your weather's like. That's always of interest to me as well. Let's jump onto the other side of the rig where there's no sun in my eyes. And let's talk about shore power and the utility pole. All right, so let's talk about shore power. Every campsite I've been in has a utility pole like this for electrical, for shore. And oftentimes the water's right next to it and the sewer is pretty close. In this case, it's just right over here. So what we're gonna do is talk about this box and the electrical in particular. You might be asking why I'm holding a spoon. Well, that would be to hold the door open. Every tool in the van has to have two purposes. So let's take a look at this and let me explain what these electrical receptacles are. All right, so what we're looking at here is 3 different electrical outlets. This one is probably pretty familiar to you. If you're an RVer, these others are gonna be pretty obvious to you as well. If you have a dryer or an electric stove, this is gonna be pretty familiar. It's a 50 amp service. This is a 30 amp. These are the breakers for each of those individual circuits. And typically when I come to a campground, I make sure they're all off and I get plugged in and then I turn mine on. In this case, it's kind of interesting. The 110 at this campground even includes a light. So even though I may not be using this, I actually turn this on because it kind of acts as a night light for the outside of the area here. So typically the 15 amp circuit is for tent campers. It's always kind of curious to me they include this. I'm glad they do, but it's a little curious. 30 amp is what most Class B, B+, and even some lightweight C models would use. And the big guys, the Class A rigs, that's the big bus, and a lot of fifth wheels would use the 50 amp service. So let me show you how I plug my surge protector in here and then plug into the electrical service, plug into the side of the van, and then hit the power and we'll see what happens. All right, so let's talk surge protectors. So I have a Volta equipped Pure 3 system, as Winnebago calls it, in my Travato. Not overly necessary, according to Volta, but a lot of folks swear by their surge protectors. Why not? They're not super cheap, but they do provide protection. And I've had a couple issues where the power source was not awesome and it wouldn't run my air conditioner from shore power. And this has come in handy to buffer or what's the right word? Condition the power coming into the rig so the AC would actually work. Don't know the electrical reasons why that is. Maybe somebody out there knows why, But would I recommend a surge protector for you? Absolutely. This one's about $150. They go to about $300 for the big guys, but this is good for me, again, because I have a Volta system, has kind of this built in already. So what I do is I plug this into the socket right there, and then I turn the circuit on, and I just take a look at what the lights have to say. In this case, the power's on, there's surge protection, the grounds and the reverse polarity, nothing of that is of an issue, otherwise the lights would change. So that's good to go. Now we plug in the 30 amp cable, which is this funny doodad right there, and it goes in here like that. I've turned this back off now that I've checked that the power is clean. So that goes just like that. And now let's plug it into the rig. So the way this works, it's kind of a twist and lock. So I put it in gently. It goes just off center, and then you twist it clockwise just a tad, and that's locked into place. And then you use the securing ring, which never grabs the first time. And then that is secured to the rig itself. All right, let's go turn the circuit on and I'll show you the lights. So things connected up correctly, everything is secure. Make sure that bad boy is pushed in like that. Then I hit the 30 amp breaker here, see that? So that gets flipped on. So the first indication things are good, that would be green, is green lights here. We have a light here that's hard to see in the daylight, but that's also on there. And then at the rig itself, we have blue light coming through our ingest point right there. Hey, if you're getting anything out of this, I sure appreciate a thumb up, 2 thumbs up, one for me, one for Luke, that'd be my cat. And comment below, is any of this new to you? What are you concerned about from electrical situation? And subscribe if you're into this kind of content, learning how to be a better RVer, go cool places, meet great people. Consider subscribing to this channel. It'd be awesome to have you part of our success. And then you get notified when there's cool stuff happening from YouTube about Go Small, Live Large. Let's keep moving. This adapter has come in handy not only for me, but for fellow RVers. So sometimes you go to a camp and they've only got 50 amp service available. Maybe all the 30 amp sites are sold out. So this converts, you can plug this into the 50 amps receptacle here at the box, and then plug in your 30 amp surge protector, then your 30 amp cable into this. And that has saved my bacon and a couple of fellow RVers that didn't have a 30 amp cable or service at their utility pole. And then this came in a pinch. These are available on my Amazon store, on my website, Go Small, Live Large. They're not super expensive. I carry them with me all the time. All this is in my utility closet all the time because it's part of RV preparedness. Let me show you an example of the 50 amp to 30 amp. And again, why this is important, because there's been times where only a giant site's available, they only have 50 amp. So it's super simple to say yes. So stay tuned to the bonus tip at the end. So what this is, so you can see the weird plugs there, right? Yes. And this simply plugs into that like that. So again, what we've done is convert 50 amp to 30 amp through the surge protector into the cable on the rig. Short little video for you today. Really enjoyed making it for you. I get a lot of questions about electrical connections and everything. It is confusing, but don't be intimidated. It's really, really simple. Hopefully you got a few tips out of this that will make it a little bit easier and less confusing for you. Hey, if you haven't been to my website lately, we've got some events coming up. You'll want to check that out, GoSmallLiveLarge.com. A bunch of stuff about our partners, Volta, Embassy RV, and you'll see content on there you won't see here. And there's some essential RV memberships that you will want to get a hold of. That'd be Harvest Host and maybe even Boondockers Welcome. So again, if you haven't been to my website lately, go check it out. There's some cool stuff there. Follow me on Instagram. I post nearly daily there. A lot of fun clips with Luke, my cat, and myself, and just cool things I see as I go that will never be seen in YouTube. So thanks again for watching, really appreciate that. Comment below, is this helpful at all? What makes you concerned about the electrical systems connecting to shore power? What is shore power, by the way? How'd they get that name? My guess is it's because it was at a marina where a boat pulled in to shore at the boat block and they plugged their boat into power on the shore. Maybe you know the better answer than me. Comment below, please, where you're watching from. Until we see you soon, I wish you to journey on. See ya. Excellent, you're still here. That means you get the bonus tip. Here's my tip for you to save a few bucks. Most RV parks have 30 amp and 110 and separate the 50 amp service elsewhere in the park. If you can call up and ask for the 30 amp service only, don't need the 50 amp, you will save yourself anywhere from my experience about $5 to $10, maybe even $15 per night, because you're just asking for 30 amp service only. You don't need the 50 amp. So that would be my tip for you. And if they have only 50 amp available, tell them what kind of rig you have. I've got a Class B RV. I'm only going to be drawing 30 amps of service. Since you don't have availability, can I take the 50 amp spot but pay the 30 amp rate? I've had that happen a couple times. They were gracious enough. Most times people are pretty cool if you just ask, if they kind of put you in a pinch. So hopefully you got something out of that as a tip. See you later.